All right, what's going on, YouTube? So I'm going to give you a little story today about how I came to get this 2013 Mark VI Volkswagen Jetta GLI. Now, I probably look like I'm in my mid-20s. I look like I, can easily afford something like this. But realistically, I'm only 18. I am pretty broke. I'm even broker now that I have this car. And how I came to get this was basically through a series of different cars. So my very first car was a Mazda 6. It was a 2006, I believe, 2009. It might have been a 2009, something like that. It was the smoothest ride I've ever had up until this car. It was an automatic because I did not want a manual at all. I was scared of them. I did not know how to drive one. And I 100% was determined on getting an automatic. So I looked over a lot of awesome cars that I could have gotten. I could have actually gotten a manual Mazda 6, which I actually think would have been a really good decision because that would have made my next car a lot more enjoyable. So the Mazda 6 was really, really enjoyable, and then I crashed it. I was looking to get rid of that anyways, but I was a 16-year-old, so pretty much any 16-year-old is looking to get out of their very first car and into a different car. So I crashed that. Kind of had to get a different car. Really wasn't up to my own personal choice. The money I was given from my insurance company, along with a little bit of money that I had saved up, that made me be able to get my next car, which was an Infiniti G35 2005. Now, that was a manual, and that made me realize that I absolutely hate driving a sports car as an everyday driver. And honestly, although I regret getting rid of that, I don't regret getting rid of that. I definitely want another one, and I definitely want to be able to have one right now. I just can't afford it. But as far as having that as a daily driver, I'm very happy that I got rid of that, just because it was a pain in the ass to drive. You really won't know what I'm talking about unless you know sport transmissions and how they work. But basically, driving anything under 40 miles an hour was a pain in the ass. I mean, this car wanted to go. So if you were going slow, it was jumpy. You stepped in the clutch, you didn't even have to take it out of gear. Second you stepped in the clutch, the car literally jumped. It was annoying. It was very, very annoying. It was a really solid design for going fast. But going slow, it was a major pain. So I got rid of that. I ended up getting a Dodge Cummins truck because I figured, hey, what's more unsporty than a big truck? I ended up really falling in love with that truck, but I also got rid of that. Now, the reason I got rid of that was for three big reasons. Really honestly two big reasons. Number one, because it costed a lot of money. I ended up spending $6,000, and I would have spent more had I not done most of the work myself, in repairs. It needed a brand new fuel pump, it needed injectors, it needed everything. I mean, I had spent so much money on getting this thing up to where I thought it would be able to run forever, and it still needed more stuff after that. So I was like, you know what, this really is not the best vehicle in the world. On top of that, it took diesel fuel, and it got 15 miles to the gallon. So it really was a real pain in the ass to drive around every day just because it costed so much money. So I ended up getting a Honda Civic. That I actually got alongside with the actual truck. I kept the truck. But the Honda Civic was a total piece of crap. I mean, I still have it right now. I drive it occasionally as a daily driver, but it's a total piece of junk. I mean, it overheats all the time. Has a blown head gasket, which I did not know until I bought it. And it's a real piece of junk. Everything else about it is fine, I guess. It has no catalytic converter, so it sounds like a freaking fart can, but it's a real piece of junk. It really is. So I got rid of the truck for that reason, number one, and also because it was one of, if not the most unsmooth ride I have ever driven in. Now, for a truck, it was very smooth, actually, but it was a truck. And I knew nothing about trucks before I got them, and that made me realize, okay, number one, I hate a vehicle that is geared for sport transmission as a daily driver, and I also hate a vehicle that is so beyond unsmooth, it makes the whole entire experience of driving it terrible. I mean, driving around was like driving on a bouncy house. I was just jumping around all the time. Whether I hit a little bump or anything, it was a pain in the ass. So I got rid of that for those two big reasons. And then I ended up getting this. Now, I borrowed some money from my parents in order to pay for the truck. I paid that back. And then I used the money that I got from the truck along with some more money that I had saved and some more money that I borrowed from my parents yet again to get this. Now this, I didn't borrow that much and I didn't really spend that much. This is a very good deal. But those different things, they made me really understand about what I really like in a vehicle. I genuinely hate, I mean, I'm talking daily driver perspective. Because if we're, saying, oh, you can have these vehicles and you're going to have another vehicle as a daily driver, great, awesome. I would have kept the G35 and I would have kept the Cummins. But I can only really afford one nice vehicle right now. So, it's a struggle right now, but I find it completely worth it. As I've mentioned, actually I haven't mentioned yet because I have not released that video, but I'll be releasing the video fairly soon about a general in-depth review of this car. It's so beyond smooth. I mean, the suspension is super smooth. The transmission is super smooth, although it's still very, very fast. And it's not expensive, at least not now, currently. I mean, it takes 91 octane gas, but it gets 31 miles to the gallon. So I'm not complaining about that. On top of that, I also drive the Honda, although be it a piece of crap, as kind of a daily driver. And I actually plan on getting rid of that and getting another car that I know is for sale or about to be for sale. That's also very cheap, and I plan on getting that as a daily driver. So that is how I came to get this car. When I went shopping for cars, I knew exactly what I wanted. I wanted a car that had a very smooth ride, suspension wise and also transmission wise. And I also wanted a car or a vehicle that was not expensive, that didn't get 20 miles to the gallon, didn't get 15 miles to the gallon, that didn't cost an arm and a leg to fix, or rather need a ton of fixing. So that's why I got this. It only has 33,000 miles on it currently. I bought it with 32 like 2 weeks ago. So I put some mileage on it, basically just from joyrides and from some pretty far trips. I went over to Beamerfest in New Jersey. That was about a 300-mile drive, like total. So I've done some driving. But that's my general story about how I actually learned about what I want in a vehicle. So I had some, ups and downs as far as knowing what I want in a vehicle. And obviously we can't all be perfect. We can't all get the exact vehicle that we want. But if you're gonna get a vehicle, I strongly advise, I wouldn't say I strongly advise, I don't find it to be a bad idea necessarily to own vehicles for a short period of time just to sell them for the same amount that you paid for them, so you understand what you like and dislike in a vehicle. I know people who drive sport cars with sports transmissions and they love them as an everyday driver. If that's something that you're into, great, do it. Me personally, I'm not into that. So that's how I personally came to find this car as the vehicle that I wanted to drive every single day. And that is why I'm in a 2013 Mark 6 Jetta GLI. Stay tuned, guys. Comment any of the videos you want to see in the future, and definitely hit that subscribe button. I'm putting out a lot of videos, and hopefully putting out some high definition videos once I get the equipment for it. Have no money currently, so might be a little bit of time, but stay tuned. I plan on building this channel. I want to build it while I don't have that professional video equipment, and then once I actually get that video equipment, you are gonna have basically just your whole entertainment system right on the screen that you're watching right now, on the channel that you're watching right now. So stay tuned, guys.